What makes a successful TED Talk? The Success Bistro strive to find out. Why do some TED Talks rack up millions of views, change lives, and are talked about everywhere? All TED Talks are good, but why are some great? You will be amazed at what we found. Before we get into the 5 patterns, let's learn a little bit about the intriguing background. TED is a non-profit that posts videos of people with the best ideas presenting on a variety of fascinating topics. This gives us the perfect database of videos of charismatic and intelligent people. Most importantly, the number of views on each video gave us a clear idea of popularity. Take the following example. Note the difference in views. Both talks were published in the same month, which means that they had the same amount of time to gather views. They both have similar topics, and lastly, they're both respected but not famous speakers. Something about the second TED Talk captured people and went viral. We see this pattern over and over again on TED. Some hit big and some don't. But why? These results surprised us. The most pleasant part was that these tips are extremely easy to implement for everyone in daily life. Here's what we found. Number 1. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. TED Talkers spend too much time and energy on what they say. In the words, the script, the bullets. But is it how they say more important? We found out that there was no difference in ratings between people who watched the talks on mute and people who watched the same TED Talks with sound. Yes, you heard that correctly. People like the speakers just as much with the sound as on mute. This means that when we rate someone's charisma, credibility, and intelligence, we base it off of nonverbal signals. And this is very surprising. We want people to focus on their words, but this experiment is no different from previous research. Over and over again, we find that how we say something is more important than what we say. The question then becomes, how do we say something well? Bottom line, focus on your nonverbal just as much as your verbal. Number 2, jazz hands rock. Once we realized the importance of TED speakers' body language, we decided to look for more specific nonverbal patterns that the top TED Talks had different from the bottom TED Talks. One thing became quickly clear. The more hand gestures, the more successful the talk. There was a direct correlation between the number of views on a TED Talk and the number of hand gestures. The bottom TED Talks averaged about 124,000 views and 272 hand gestures versus the top TED Talks that averaged over about 7,360,000 views and 465 hand gestures, about double. Why do we think this? Our hands are the nonverbal way to show and build trust. When we see hands, we have an easier time trusting someone. Also, when someone uses their hands to explain a concept, we have an easier time understanding. Speakers who use hand gestures are speaking to their audience on 2 levels, verbally and non-verbally. Number 3, scripts kill your charisma. Nonverbal communication isn't about body language. It's also about vocal cues. Vocal variety measures the amount of fluctuation in their voice tone, volume, and pitch. Again, the relationship was clear. The more vocal variety, the more views. Specifically, vocal variety increased the speaker's charisma and credibility ratings. Speakers who told stories, ad-libbed, and even yelled at the audience captivated their listeners' imagination and intention. Bottom line, memorize scripts, kill your memorability. Number 4 is smiling makes you look smarter. This finding is the only pattern that goes against current research. Studies on smiling have found that leaders typically smile less. Nonverbal scientists believe that smiling is actually a low-power behavior. However, in research, we found that the longer the TED Talk speaker smiled, the higher their perceived intelligence ratings were. Those who smiled at least 14 seconds were rated higher in intelligence than those who smiled for less. When we think of an intelligent person, it's most commonly someone serious. But even when TED Talkers were speaking about a serious topic, smiling helped their intelligence rankings. Bottom line, no matter what your topic is, find something to smile about. Number 5 is you have 7 seconds. I cannot emphasize enough the power of the first 7 seconds in any interaction. By this time, people have already made their first impression and decisions about the person and their speech. This is called thin slicing. For efficiency purposes, the brain makes very quick judgments of people within a few seconds of meeting them. Typically, this happens before any words are exchanged. So yes, think about your opening line, but also think about how you take the stage, how you acknowledge the audience, and how you deliver that first line. I hope this research has shed some light on what makes someone charismatic and how you can improve your own stage presence. Whether you're going to deliver the next top TED Talk or you just want to make an impact in your daily life, take these 5 easy cues and make them your own. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider subscribing for more videos like this from the Success Bistro.